First of all, thank you for having us here to talk. I've made a couple quick notes, and the reason why I felt compelled to come tonight was because I feel I represent a voice that hasn't been heard on the public podium so far, and that of a renter in the area. I have only been in the area for 8 years, and many people in the area have been living there longer than I've been alive, but that's why I feel I should have a voice in this as well. I have spent the last 2 years in the Porter building, and this is a self-serving purpose for me. I'm looking 5 to 10 years down the line into my future and where I will be able to live in the city, and I do love this neighborhood. The question of affordability is obviously something that we face every day, everyone in the city and my generation and demographic in particular. And, the opportunities like this, it is not an affordable building to live in, but nothing in the city really is that affordable when you look at it, if it's supported. But I've been comparing what the $1,300 we pay for a bachelor suite now versus the same amount for a mold-filled basement a couple blocks away, and those are kind of the equivalent rental units in a number of blocks in this area. And I was, happy to get out and not have black mold everywhere. But it's not a place where I would want to raise a family in a dingy basement suite, and that is predominantly the rental units that are available outside of these purpose-built rental housing units like these developments. And that's where, especially because they are having the 30% plus family-oriented housing, why I feel a huge need in our neighborhood for that. The green aspects of it have been questioned multiple times in terms of the cutting down of trees, and while it is a tragedy to have to cut down trees mature trees on the property, using the argument of green alone is a bit, I'd say, off base on this side of things, because we're looking at buildings that are going to increase density on an arterial that does have transit lines immediately accessible to it within a 5 to 10 minute walk, as well as a bus, which may not be perfect, is still a very regular service bus, which reduces the amount of that residents in the neighborhood need to own personal vehicles. And there's a huge abundance of Cartigos and Motos and Evos in the area, which is contributing in some ways to the parking problem, but is meaning that the necessity of a 1-to-1 ratio of units to parking spaces is a thing of the past, and I do not think is appropriate in current developments. People have also asked for increased amenities and stores in the neighborhood, and I'd say that adding density like this allows that to happen. The rents are incredibly expensive for businesses to operate in any neighborhood of the city, and especially in areas close to space like Commercial Drive. And having more residents in the area is a way to help support places like the excellent coffee shop, the Commercial Street Cafe, numerous people have addressed today so far. So the other thing that I feel is the mention of Airbnb equivalents of other rental buildings, or if it was for sale condos, and then some of those being taken off the housing market as speculation. The purpose-built rental unit does ensure that all of these units will be filled by people living and working in the neighborhood, which I think is incredibly important to the vibrancy of a neighborhood. And that bringing in a newer, younger demographic to complement the residents who are already in the neighborhood is what we need to continue to do in this neighborhood as other neighborhoods around the city as well. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.